Hello, this is Jim Phillips with Remember Veteran Grave Markers. Recently, I was at Rupp Cemetery checking out some of the headstones that I just cleaned, and one of the headstones had 100th Ohio Infantry. Oh, okay. Seems interesting. Didn't know much about it, so I decided I'd take a look into the resources that are available to find out more about the 100th. Well, what I found was pretty interesting, and I want to share it with you. Now, this particular veteran, he served in the 100th, and the story on them is they started and organized in Toledo in 1861. So would be 1862. So it would have been July through August 1862. They organized, and they actually were formally put into service by September 8th, 1862, and sent down to just south of Cincinnati. So they were really working in the northern northern Kentucky area. So interesting piece there, but not necessarily the main piece. So about after a year of being on duty, but not necessarily seeing much action, on September 8th, 1863, in the picture you see is that there's an A. Well, the A represents they were deployed to guard a train station. That's what they were doing. They were guarding a train station, and what happened is that they were overrun by the Confederates. Well, as a result of that, about 240 were captured by the Confederates and then sent off to a POW camp starting in Richmond, and then subsequently sending them down to the more notorious POW camp, which is in Andersonville. So there was about 240 that went to Andersonville. As a side note there, they do make a note that of all that are sent down there, about 80 to 90 died while in captivity there at Andersonville. Sad note. Going over to B on the map, that is where Ambrose Burnside is at, and he was working on just protecting Knoxville. That was his whole job, is to protect that area. Well, Longstreet was sent up from Chattanooga. Longstreet was under Braxton Bragg's command, and Longstreet was going to hold Knoxville in siege. Well, the 100th Ohio Infantry went also to support Ambrose Burnside, and as a result of that, not because of them, but they held out, and eventually the siege ended. And it particularly ended because not only that was it's probably a bad idea, but Longstreet was sent up from Lookout Mountain, where Bragg has his headquarters, and because Bragg moved Longstreet up north to Knoxville, he depleted his resources in the Chattanooga area, and as a result of that, Grant's army was able to take Chattanooga. So when that happened, now Chattanooga's firmly in Union hands, and the 100th Ohio heads down to Georgia to start doing the things that they do in fighting. So they're now in Georgia, and they're following much like many other Ohio and other organizations and units in the Union Army, just going from Chattanooga to Dalton to a variety of different places, ultimately getting to the point where they're attacking and now sieging Atlanta. So they're part of the Atlanta siege. Well, at some point, the siege ends, and Tecumseh Sherman, just marches through there, and they then head off up north to Nashville. And the reason they head off to Nashville instead of heading east like Sherman is going to be doing, they head up to Nashville so that they can forestall General Hood. Now, I mentioned Longstreet, and one of the things I didn't mention is that the commander of the Confederacy at that time was Braxton Bragg, General Bragg. Well, General Bragg was relieved of command as a result of what happened in Chattanooga, effectively losing that particular war, which they battle, where they in fact had the upper hand. They lost it, just totally lost it. Johnston took over as a result of Jefferson Davis making him the new commander-in-chief of that army. Unfortunately for Johnston, what the president of the South wanted, Jefferson Davis wanted, was somebody who was going to fight. What Johnston did is he kind of held he fought, but he also was losing ground all the way back to Atlanta. At some point, Jefferson Davis swapped out Johnston for Hood. So General Hood became the commander there in the South. From that position, Hood saw that he couldn't take care of the problem with Sherman in Atlanta and marching to the east. He could do that. What he thought he could do is run a feign, a workaround. Said, if I go and attack Nashville and have some successes up there, this will force Sherman to turn around and attack me and address this problem that I'm presenting to you. So by this time, let's see, Hood is moving up north to Nashville, and as I mentioned before, the 100th is already heading to Nashville and will be serving there in that theater. Now, two major battles will happen in Nashville, and that would be the Battle of Franklin, pretty bloody battle, and then the Battle of Nashville. Hood will not win, so the prevailing armies will be the Union. Hood will be pushed back into the South. Meanwhile, the 100th Ohio will complete their work in Nashville and then head east, heading to North Carolina. By this time, it's December and moving into January, and looking at it, because we have the knowledge of what's there in the future, the war is going to be in a couple months. And in this case here, the army, the head of the army that the 100th is going to be attacking is, once again, Joe Johnston. Just because Hood got the command out in the west, Johnston gets the command for that new area that he's working, eventually the Carolinas. So at this point, all the major players have been named, and you see the movement of the 100th and what had happened. The key thing I want you to kind of know is that they weren't involved in Chattanooga. They did lose people in a major POW issue up in the northern part of the map over in eastern Tennessee, and they participated in two major battles, notwithstanding Atlanta and all the battles that went between Chattanooga and Atlanta. The two that were specific are the Franklin and Nashville campaigns up in Tennessee. So wanted to share that with you because when I see a headstone that I wonder what the unit did, I like to research what that unit did to find out what that person did. And if that person had a pretty robust action schedule here and represented Ohio well, and It seems that I'll be looking forward to more of these because there's some interesting stories when you look at how things play out. Now, if you need to, I would suggest that you look at the National Park Service. They have a great information on units like the 100th Ohio Infantry, as well as many other units. You can also do a search for individuals that you know that are from the 100th Ohio, Company E or something like that. Put that in there, and they have a great search engine for those soldiers. There is also a benefit of the internet provides great information, whether it's the American Battlefield Trust or other entities that provide great information. Take a look at that, and you'll be able to find something out not only about the unit, but if you're fortunate, you might even find something out about the individual that you're researching, or that may be a stranger or a family member, but it's powerfully good information when you finally get it. With that being said, please like, subscribe, and share the video. Good stuff. Like to share it. And I'll be going out to do some more cleaning and finding out more stuff. Until then, this is Jim Phillips with Remember Veteran Grave Markers. I'm out. More rich understanding of your family member and also the experience of the war between the states. I think that take a look at that. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video. It is important because the information that we share today is stuff that you want to be able to share with your loved ones and with people that want to know more about their heritage. Take care. God bless. Until next time, this is Jim Phillips.